So who really has the privilege here? Well, considering, I don't know, where do I even start with this? The funny thing here is actually that it's not funny, okay? If anybody else, other than this person right here that we see, would tweet this, say it out loud, etc., they would be canceled, essentially banned, shunned, that there's a D next to her name. Nothing's going to happen to her. This sort of talk and rhetoric is acceptable talk on platforms, if you will. Publishers, I wouldn't even say platform at this point. They are publishers. Publishers such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc., 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 will allow this sort of talk. Now, if I were to say this talk, if I were to tweet this, if I had a Twitter account, which I don't anymore, by the way, I'd be canceled. I'd be out. I'd be shunned. My house surrounded round the clock by angry mobs. So why is she allowed to say this? Well, it's obvious. Without even me having to say it. Know where she is. Know who she is. Know what political persuasion she is. That is all you need to know. Democrats, liberals, progressives, people left of Pol Pot, Lenin, and Stalin are allowed this sort of rhetoric. I, on the other hand, am not allowed. I cannot have this opinion and tweet it out and send it to the masses. Can't do it. Exclusive new DCCC Chief Technology Officer called on followers to, quoting from her, there, Susan Wojcicki, this is not me, this is her, burn every cop precinct to the ground if police deleted her. Why would police do this? Who knows? At this point in my life and in the country right now, I'm not even surprised anymore. So the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee's new Chief Technology Officer, Erica Joy Baker, joy being not the key word, has tweeted anti-police rhetoric and even called on police precincts to be torched to the Tieta if she were to be deleted by an officer. In past tweets discovered by the Daily Caller, Baker shared her stance on defunding the police, compared police officers to giant pieces of excrement, and called for her followers to, what I just talked about, shut down the highways and throw tear gas back at the police officers if cops deleted her. Let's see. If cops deleted me, the only way to sully my legacy is to not be out in the streets. If cops deleted me, burn every precinct to the Tieta. If cops delete me, shut down the highways, throw tear gas back at them, etc., etc., etc. Continuing on, my favorite take thus far, we have an epidemic in SF, giant pieces of poop walking around, deleting San Francisco residents. You can try to reform a piece of excrement, but what you're left with is still a piece of excrement. That's from last year, June 11th, 2020. I mean, are police really doing that in San Francisco, walking around, deleting people? No, they're not. This is just histrionics right here. This is just, oh my God. No, I am not a fan of cops, and I've said this multiple times. However, she can say this, and it's perfectly fine. You could report it, nothing will happen. Because it's the correct narrative. Amazing. Amazing. The first one you linked does not meet the criteria. I'm talking specifically about defunding the police, Baker said in a tweet from June 5th, 2020. Baker's first day at the DCCC was Monday. The chair, Sean Patrick Maloney, made the announcement in a statement. These new additions to the DCCC are seasoned operatives. Key point there being operatives who knew or know what it takes to win, Maloney said. I am thrilled to welcome these talented operatives on board, and I look forward to our continued work as we assemble the team that will protect Democrats' House majority in 2022. Fox News reported these tweets earlier Tuesday, also consisting of anti-police messages. Quoting from Hermer again, I hate the police. Not me, her. The institution of policing with its history of criminalizing and weaponizing blackness is a farce, and I hate it, Baker said in one tweet on September 20th, 2016. Again, this goes to show you that if you have the correct political persuasion and the correct political narrative, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, etc., will actually back you up. If I were to come out and say something similar to this or anti a specific, let's say, racial background, I would be deleted. I would never say it, by the way. Let's get that pure 100% correct here. But it just goes to show you that the correct letter next to your name, D or R, basically shows you that you will get a certain job. It'll push you up the ladder of success while complaining about how the man is trying to keep you down. But Miss Baker here only goes to show you that the correct political ideology will get you through life. And you can say whatever you want. And a person like myself cannot. So who really has the privilege here?